October 22nd, 1966. In Tallahassee, Florida, there was only one place to be, Campbell Stadium. The Florida State Seminoles were facing off against Mississippi State. On a night like that, the streets weren't just quiet, they were abandoned. But while 20,000 fans roared for a 10-9 victory, a much darker scene was unfolding at 1106 Murray Drive. The Sims family was a pillar of the community. Robert Sims was an IT pioneer for the Department of Education. His wife Helen was a devoted Sunday school teacher. And that night, their two oldest daughters were out. 15-year-old Judith was babysitting, and 19-year-old Norma was at the game. At home was Robert, Helen, and their youngest daughter, 12-year-old Joy. They expected a quiet Saturday night. They didn't know they were being watched by someone who knew exactly when the city would be looking the other way. Norma Jeanette Sims returned home around 11 p.m., buzzing from the game's excitement. The lights were on, the TV was humming in the living room, but the house was still. When Norma walked into her parents' bedroom, her life changed forever. She didn't call the police, she called a funeral home. In a state of pure shock, she begged Russell Bevis to come quickly. It's kind of crazy what they used to put in newspapers. It's kind of crazy what they used to post in the local newspapers, but at the scene, Robert Sims, the father, was shot once in his head. Joy, the daughter, was stabbed multiple times in the abdomen and shot in the head. Helen, the mother, was shot and stabbed, but somehow still breathing. Russell Bevis arrived, and in a desperate attempt to save Helen, he cut the ropes that were binding her. In doing so, he accidentally destroyed one of the few pieces of physical evidence: the specialized knots used to bind the victim. Helen would fight for 9 days in the hospital, but she never woke up to tell the police who had entered her home. Police were puzzled by the no forced entry. It wasn't a robbery, cash was left sitting on the dresser. So this wasn't a crime of greed, it was a crime of passion and precision. The vacuum of information was quickly filled by rumors. The most targets were aimed at C.A. Roberts, the charismatic pastor of First Baptist Church and chaplain for the FSU football team. Rumors swirled that he was having an affair with Helen Sims, the mother. Despite being caught on camera at the football game during the time of the murders, the court of public opinion found him guilty. His career was destroyed, and he actually died a few years later, his name forever linked to a crime he likely didn't commit. As the years turned into decades, other names emerged from the Tallahassee's rumor mill. Investigators later looked at Vernon Fox and his girlfriend, Mary Charles LaJoy. Mary was known for an eerie obsession with death and a habit of breaking into funeral homes. In the 80s, she accused Fox of the murders, but her story fell apart under scrutiny. Many believe she was just hunting the $5,000 reward. Years later, a former investigator made a shocking claim. He alleged that the murders were tied to a high society sex ring involving prominent Tallahassee figures. He claimed he knew the killers but lacked the evidence to make an arrest without dismantling the city's power structure. The Sims murder changed the DNA of Tallahassee. Before October 1966, people left their doors unlocked. After that night, hardware stores sold out of deadbolts in 48 hours. Halloween was canceled, and the small-town feel of the capital city died with the Sims family. Even after Ted Bundy brought a different kind of terror to FSU in 1978, the Sims case remained the deepest scar in Tallahassee. The knots were cut, the coffee cups grew cold, and the killer walked out into the celebratory crowds of a football Saturday, vanishing into the night. The Sims family murders remain unsolved. If you have any information, please contact the Leon County Sheriff's Office. In recent years, around 2017, the Leon County Sheriff's Office sent items from the scene for modern DNA testing. While results haven't led to an arrest, the case is technically active. It is rumored that there was no DNA evidence found on what they submitted. Interestingly enough, it is widely believed that the killer entered their home between 10:30 and 10:45 p.m. as neighbors reported hearing screams right as the game was winding down. Some theorists in this case suggest that maybe Robert Sims' work with the Department of Education, specifically early data systems, might have been a motive for the crime, but it's never been proven. And again, these local newspapers are crazy. You would never see a picture like this today. I'm going to do a part 2 with different theories, different rumors. So if you have heard of the Sims case, feel free to leave a comment below and look forward to part 2 soon. Thank you for watching Unsolved Florida. Also, a big thank you to Project Cold Case. If you are not following them, please do. They help bring awareness to cold cases that need more media coverage all over the United States. If you're into true crime, you will definitely like their profile. Part 2 coming soon.